Hello there. This is your friendly neighborhood banker, and I wanted to thank you for checking out this new review of Killadelphia number 1. Sins of the Father, part 1 is the subtitle there. And right off the bat, man, that's a cool cover. I mean, there is so much going on there. It's this dude with the lowered collar, necktie hanging low, and he's got this gun pointing towards us, but this shovel on the background. And it's just a few elements, and gosh, what a striking image. There's so much going on there. I mean, if that doesn't pique your interest, I don't know what would. And if you notice, there's these eyes in the background, which is like, oh, this is intriguing. This is creepy. I gotta see what this is about. So this is written by Rodney Barnes, who I'm not really that familiar with, but Jason Sean Alexander does the art, and he does really great work with his artwork. And my familiarity with him comes from the Spawn books. He did a run quite a bit, and I know he still contributes to some current Spawn issues here in December 2019. And he's good, man. He's got interesting stylized art. I know a lot of people aren't into things that are highly stylized, but for me, as long as it's good and stylized, then it's in my top list. I like people playing around with things and mixing things up like that. So, just to show you a quick example on the inside, right there. I mean, look at that. Jason Sean Alexander, the way he plays with light and dark and shadows, I mean, that is gorgeous right there. I wouldn't even mind having a poster of that on my wall. It's so cool. And the way he goes from hard painting lines to kind of like dabbing here on the left with his paint. I mean, it's really good stuff. So let me jump into the meat of this. And let me just say right off the bat, I loved this book. For a first issue, this was unbelievably good. So let me jump into my $1 bookmark here, and let's see what we got going on. So just to highlight the artwork here, I mean, like I said, the light, the dark, and shadows, I mean, that's just intriguing right there. And like the graffiti on the wall, what happened to America, or the writing on the wall, we the people, it's got this, oh wow, what's going on? It is so fascinating just to look at. Let me jump over to bookmark 5. And one thing that's really cool, I mean, spoiler alert, this thing's got vampires. And one thing that's really interesting, if I go back for a second, you have this wonderful shot of this guy going in, and he sees these folks hanging upside down, and wow, that is creepy. And they all got these red eyes. But what is really interesting about this, what I really appreciate, is when people take something that's been done 1.5 million times, like vampires, zombies, but makes one tiny tweak. Like I remember the first time I saw that movie 28 Days Later with the zombies, and they just mainly changed one thing, which was, oh, zombies don't run slow. They come after you. You got to have some fast footwork if you hope to survive. And just that little bit made that movie so much more intense than any other zombie movie I'd seen at the time, that, just a small little tweak, and it makes such a big difference. And what I loved about this, which is a story about, I'm not going to give too much away, because I really recommend this book, actually. And I thought it was done exceptionally well. This little bit here with these eyes, they're red, right? We've seen it 1 million times before, right? But here's the thing. If we go back a bit, the last vampire we encountered had green eyeballs. That seems like a small detail, but it's actually huge. And there's a total of 3 different sets of eye color. And why is that important? It actually makes each individual vampire very unique and interesting to watch. And it's a small detail, but it helps you differentiate one individual creature of the night from another, so to speak. And it just gives it like a little more personality and more color. So often you see vampire stories, it's just like, oh, red eyes or whatever, but three different kinds of eye color in this book. And it's a small thing, but it helps you stay engaged and mixes it up because it's not just like, a drone, almost red shirt variation of a vampire. It's just like, yeah, they're all just the same. No, 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 no. They all are different. They're drawn differently. Like this person, like you could see this guy and he's got a story. He's drawn in a very unique way. This looks like an individual person that changed into a vampire. And I think that was just was wonderful. So the art is great. Something really wonderful. I mean, this book has a lot going for it. Right here, this looks like, your typical sounds that you'd have in a comic, but it's different because a lot of times you have comics where it's just like people bang on a door, thump, 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 or knock, 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 or screams or sounds and different things. But this is not only artistically is this bleeding over from this side of the door to the next side of the door, and I love the fact that it changes color there too as you move from the black on the almost brown tannish color into the darkness where the vampires are. It turns into a red. Really slick coloring too, and just great design choices. But just a little thing like these are different sounds. It makes it seem more just chaotic. You have thud, crack, thump, slam, thud, rah, rah. It's like it just sounds like chaos as opposed to all being rah, 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 or slam, 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 or thump, thump, thump. It's a chaotic page. The words look chaotic a little bit. They changing color. It's got this. You can see the sounds. And that is a really special thing and not very easy to do. One guy who used to do that kind of well way back was Sam Keith in his Max series in the Image days. And he just, the way he would demonstrate words and sounds was just striking on a page. And I gotta tell you, I'll say this. My only beef with this book is this kind of thing where anytime there's like scripted writing or someone's doing like a very stylized writing style, like I'll give you an example, like let's say Thor, when you have this kind of Asgardian, kind of Viking-like stylized writing, I find it a little hard to read. And maybe it's just that I'm not a quick reader, and sometimes I'm deciphering, well, is that an N or an R? And I'm trying to like figure it out. Like to rear its ugly head, like in context of a sentence, I can read it clearly, but there's moments when I'm like, I have to pause and kind of figure out what letter or word something is, and it slows it down. Which if it was just this bit, no problem. I get, trying to show a note, but that kind of writing goes on for a while. And sometimes, like, I gotta get my decoder ring out and read it, and then I'll be like, okay, now that I know what the sentence says, let me read it again and actually figure out what it means and what they're saying, and I can absorb it properly as an audience member and as a client for this book. So that was the only knock, but I gotta tell you, as far as knocks, that's pretty small. The writing it's phenomenal. I love it. Like, just as an example, this guy, he's working for the police. He goes to visit his childhood home. I'm just going to read this page. Returning to my childhood home feels like revisiting the scene of a crime. Wow, what a powerful statement. The smell alone takes me back. And he got these, this like dead fish hanging out. To places I'd rather not go. I gotta get out of here. Wonderful. Wonderful. Returning to my childhood home feels like revisiting the scene of a crime. Whew, wow. And the visuals, it's just enough visuals to let you know it was not a happy childhood. No, it certainly wasn't. But wow, that is strong. that was such a great page, and the writing is just wonderful. Like I said, and let me just jump you to the $100 page here I saved. This was great. So this man is dying, and we're kind of actually reading his dying thoughts, so to speak. And here's the page. Just after years of one-upping the bad guys, guess I was due. I pray the Lord grades on a sliding scale, is what he says. Right there, I'm not even down at the bottom of the page, and wow, you just know this guy is done for. And wow, look what an image that is. You just kind of feel yourself in his body, kind of looking up at these folks. Oh, Jose, how many times have you and me looked down at some unlucky fuck? You knew I'd be joining the club. World slipping away. I'm sorry. Wow. How often do you read the thoughts of someone who's passing away, but it really, really sits with you, and done, not that you're reading his thoughts, but almost like you're in his body. With the way this is drawn, you're kind of inside his mind looking up, and it's like, wow. I pray the Lord grades on a sliding scale. Powerful stuff. So yeah, this book, I'm not gonna give too much away. Like I said, I think people should buy this one and check it out for themselves. And if you didn't figure it out, and for mature, maybe I should have said that at the beginning of the video. But again, I'm kind of new to this stuff, and that's the cover for issue number 2. So I already just emailed my comic shop, and I'm going to. I told them, listen, add me to this pull list. If you got another copy of this, of issue number 1, please grab for me. Something with writing and art this good, I'd be a little surprised if they didn't turn this into a TV show. And honestly, the last time I felt this way about a book after the first issue was Deadly Class number 1. After reading that, I ran right back to my comic shop same day and said, you know what? Give me another issue or 2 of that, because if this doesn't turn into a TV show, nothing will. And you know what? That's what happened. I had called it. I don't call a lot of things, but when I decide to do so, it's not usually wrong. So great book. Again, thanks for watching. Any tips, any suggestions, things you want reviewed, let me know. This is your friendly neighborhood banker. Hoping to see you next time.